What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Real Frame Reviews. I'm Scott, and today we're reviewing Sherlock Gnomes. Sherlock Gnomes is a spin-off or a sequel to the hit. Must have been some sort of box office hit, because otherwise why would they make another one? To Romeo and Juliet. This story is about the two lovely garden gnomes from the previous film, Romeo and Juliet, that are moving to a new place in London with all of their pals, and something is afoot. Somebody is stealing all of the garden gnomes in the area, and it's up to Sherlock Gnomes and his trusty sidekick Watson to figure out what's going on. Now, I have a whole big spiel about not just Sherlock Gnomes, but other animated films that are not able to adhere to both adults and kids. I went into this movie on spring break here in the state and got a ticket for the ultra screen showing of this at about 10:15 in the morning. I was the only person in the theater. The only person in this theater was me. How does that happen? How does that happen? Oh, man. Look, the movie starts by showing you Sherlock Gnomes and Watson foiling a diabolic plan set by some guy named Moriarty or something like that. Some like little pie guy. And, they see him, he breaks in the end. And then right after that, you understand from the first instant what this movie's going to be about, who the bad guy is going to be, who the twist is going to be, and what the theme is directly out. They literally could have just ended the movie there and said, okay, now you guess. And I guarantee you everybody in that theater, because there's one, would have guessed right. And I'll tell you right now, that movie probably suffers for it. The movie takes off then, and you have a few different scenes of good action, but it's all brought down by such boringness. That it's just not even worth your time. I mean, there's nothing going on. Romeo feels left out because Juliet is trying to oversee the new garden that they live in, and they need to get it all spruced up and everything, because that's not the actual job of a human. It's the job of, let's say a gnome, a garden gnome. But anyways, so he feels left out. He feels like she's not giving him enough attention. He feels like she doesn't respect him enough. And lo and behold, what do you think's happening on the other side of the coin with Sherlock Gnomes and Watson? The same damn thing. Sherlock is all off doing his thing, taking the credit for everything, and ignoring old Watson. And I mean ignoring him. To the point where if you're a buddy of this guy, you're thinking, what am I doing? Like, this guy's a jackass. Why am I even with him? Nothing really makes sense in this whole thing. There's clues that Romeo and Juliet have to help find Watson, and Sherlock Gnomes, I don't know, to solve, but not really, because Sherlock Gnomes is so smart he figures it out all by himself anyways. But there's stages that they go through, they're not even exciting. There's nothing in this movie that I actually really care about. Their journey is so dumb, minus maybe Romeo trying to go into a flower shop and steal a flower, because we should tell kids to steal, That's the one way to get something that you want, is by just busting in somewhere and stealing it. No, I'm just kidding. But, this movie, it impacted me so little that I actually went up about my day and actually forgot to do a review about it, because it was like that forgetful. Like, I just don't understand it. It didn't make any impact on me at all. Another thing is with this movie, beside the fact that, the frickin' themes are oil on water, and all you have to do is look in the glass, and there's the themes floating on the water. I mean, there's no depth. It's not a stone in water where it's deep down and you got to actually look and try to find out what's going on. I mean, they basically tell you and make it really obvious. And I understand it's a kids movie. I'll get to that later. But other things don't make sense either, is that these are garden gnomes, right? And the whole threat to their existence is the fact that they could break. And they're climbing ladders. They're jumping off, roofs. They're falling, 50, 60, 80 feet from a bridge onto a boat and not breaking. But they run into something and all of a sudden their head just gets like clocked off, or the little hats get clocked off. Like, it makes no sense. There's no continuity with how thick one of these little gnomes are compared to another little gnome. So I was confused. I was like, okay, well, he's a main character. He's not going to get broken. Or actually, I did think, wow, that was a pretty long fall. This guy's going to get smashed. And it's like they didn't want to smash these guys because they were afraid that they'll be like, oh, that's gore and violence. You don't want to do that. This is a star-studded cast. You have Emily Blunt. You have James McAvoy. You have Johnny Depp. Let me read off a few more names. Mary J. Blige is in this. Michael Caine is in this. Chiwetel Ejiofor is in this. I don't know who Dexter Fletcher is, but he's in this. James Hong, Lopan himself, is in this freaking movie. Ashley Jensen, don't know who that is. I already said McAvoy, Stephen Merchant, Ozzy Osbourne, Maggie Smith, and it is a disaster! A freaking disaster! I'm going to give this movie a 1.5 out of 4 stars for a couple of good scenes, a couple of lighthearted scenes that I thought I enjoyed, but the rest was a complete bore. Now, on to my second part. You can click off this if you want to, like, subscribe, comment, all that. Otherwise, here's what I have to go to next. I find it so hard because I love animation movies. I love animated shows. I love it. The burden that animated films have is that they have to adhere to 2 audiences. Okay? Most likely. The adults and the kids. This movie, it tried to be one thing, all right? It's just for the kids. The adult jokes, they didn't hit. They weren't funny. Nothing was funny. But think of movies that have to come out. I mean, even like a Peter Rabbit. I get that that's more live action, but the rabbits and shit are all CG. They're not really there. They had good funniness into that. There was funny shit in that. Okay? I mean, think of Pixar and everything Pixar does. Coco. Think of all of that. Shit, even Boss Baby had some moments where it's like, oh yeah, there's 2 things there, I can't believe I just referenced Boss Baby. But, I mean, you get what I'm saying? I mean, Beauty and the Beast, Lion King, all of this shit that is, they're classics. I mean, look at the classic TV shows, all right? Avatar: The Last Airbender, okay? If that isn't able to show or bring together little kids and adults together, I don't know what else can. And it succeeds, and it's good. What Gnomeo or Gnomes and Sherlock Gnomes is doing is not doing that. They're missing completely. So I just don't get how we go from being able to do whatever we want in these worlds like Hayao Miyazaki makes. Do anything you want. Have cats running across roofs, flying on broomsticks, anything you want. I'm fucking not shitting you. Anything you want. And this is what we get. Is fucking Sherlock Gnomes. You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. I mean, look, there's a plethora of films out there that adhere to 2 audiences. Take a page out of their book. Seriously. Stop just grabbing these fucking dumbass ideas, slapping a fucking writer to them, and throwing them out there because there was no mystery. I mean, you plaster Sherlock Holmes in this. Don't even call the buddy anything other than Watson, who really is his buddy, right? That's Watson in the books and shit like that. I mean, at least the Great Mouse Detective, spruced it up a little bit. I mean, it's Basil of Baker Street. His buddy is not named Watson. I mean, let's get with the program here. You didn't even make it a mystery because you told us right away in the beginning. All right? So then there goes your adult audience because it's like, oh, you hold on this character and you're like, okay, so he's the bad guy. I mean, this is the end of the first scene. And you know what the hell's going to happen. I mean, that's just so poor. So poor. Anyways, 1.5 out of 4 stars. I almost talked myself out of that. Like, subscribe, comment. Thank you guys so much. And, I don't know, don't see this movie. It sucks.